Welcome back to another D2 Crucible video. I'm Kelson, and you just saw the potency that is the new pulse rifle in Destiny 2, Phyllotactic Spiral. It arrived in the game with the Lightfall expansion, and it has made a big splash. It's a sleek weapon with some great perks, and while we currently have a lot of great pulses in the same high-impact archetype, this pulse still manages to set itself apart from the crowd. Phyllotactic Spiral is one of those guns that you're going to want to have in your loadout, and we're going to let you know why. It's a beautiful pulse rifle that can be acquired from the Lightfall campaign, then farmed by doing exotic patrols on Neomuna and ranking up with Nimbus. Here's a great video by Aztec Cross that goes over that process if you want all the details. With that process, you can farm a lot of them, or you can just get the red borders to craft your own. Players will want to be cautioned though that if they are singularly trying to obtain red borders for this pulse rifle, then they will not want to unlock other Neptunian weapons through the quest, like the hand cannon. Doing so will increase the pool of weapons that can possibly drop and make farming that pulse take a lot longer. The real selling point on this pulse is that it is a high impact archetype, which is an extremely popular weapon class in Destiny PvP, and for good reason. These types of pulse rifles shoot a lethal 3-round burst that does 35 to the head with each bullet. Depending on a Guardian's resilience, their overall life can be anywhere between 185 and 200 health. This means that 2 bursts of critical hits from these pulses will down an opponent. This is the reason that so many popular pulses are in this archetype. No Time to Explain and the Messenger are some of the most popular pulses ever in Destiny. And a big reason for that is their 0.67 second time to kill with the 2 burst. While the Spiral isn't an exotic or an adept weapon like those 2 other pulses, it is craftable at the Enclave, and that means that it has access to enhanced perks. We won't debate whether adept or craftable weapons are better, but some players will definitely say that they prefer craftable weapons simply because they can completely customize them and they won't have to keep farming them over and over to try and get the right roll. In the near future, we are expecting to get adept weapons with enhanced perks, but until then, crafted weapons like these are still top-notch. Enough about other pulse rifles though, let's dig into why this pulse is special and what it brings to your loadout that will help you slay out in the Crucible. Right away, it's going to make you look cooler. This gun has a very clean aesthetic and takes very well to shaders. For those of you that don't think that looks and fashion can affect your skills, here's a newsflash, they absolutely do. Look good, play good, I'm totally serious. Anyway, let's check out how its stats compare to the other pulse rifles. Feel free to pause here and take a look at each individual stat if you want, but looking at the numbers, you see that overall, the Spiral isn't a big stat pick. It lags behind the Messenger in a lot of different categories, most importantly in stability and range, which are super important for these guns. However, it does exceed in a different crucial stat, and that is recoil. Remember how we talked about these pulses needing to hit 2 bursts of all critical shots to kill in 0.67 seconds? Well, recoil plays a big part in achieving that. The higher you can get that recoil, the more closely grouped your burst of bullets will be, and the less likely they will kick to the right or the left. But you are really going to enjoy it at those longer distances. It surprised me quite often when I'm thinking I can just pepper a guy from downtown but then end up murking him flat out. Just saying, the range will definitely surprise you, even with a role like mine that isn't spec'd for range. So, if most of the stats aren't as good as other pulses, then why would I use it, right? Well, a huge reason is the perks present on this pulse. Mainly, it has 1 new perk and 1 old perk that synergize exceptionally well. Since most of you will be wanting to craft this pulse and will thus be able to choose all the perks individually, I'll go over each column and explain why I crafted mine the way I did. The first column, or the barrel perks, is actually where I got hung up the most originally, and I'm guessing quite a few others did this as well. I went with Arrowhead Break, which maxes out that important recoil stat we were talking about. However, after getting a couple hundred kills with Arrowhead, I felt like I was being flinched off my shots too easily. I don't know about you, but there seems to be a shit ton of Ace of Spades out there right now, and man, do those things flinch. As a result of just being flinched non-stop, I eventually changed my mind and went with a barrel I don't usually pick, and that's Chambered Compensator. I shy away from this perk on basically every other gun because I value handling a ton in my playstyle, but this weapon is right in between needing stability and recoil, so it's a perfect perk for it. Some of you might not know that the stability perk helps negate flinch from oncoming bullets. That and the fact stability helps counteract bullet bloom while shooting makes it, like I said, a very important and apt perk on this weapon. Let's move over to the second column here. The magazine perks are often an easy choice for me, and this weapon is no different. It's ricochet rounds all day. That increase in stability and range, as well as the bouncing bullets, it's exactly what you want for a high impact pulse. Sometimes, if you're lucky, you can ricochet the bullets and hit someone around a corner. Even just to keep their shields down while you close the gap, those little tactics and strategies can make the difference in a gunfight. Now, there's definitely a case to be made here for high caliber rounds, but I'm pretty sure that high impact weapons like the Spiral don't benefit as much because they already give quite a bit of flinch to your target. If you did a ton of testing or think otherwise, let me know in the comments, but that's what I heard last. Enough about the mag perks though, let's dive into the juicy stuff. In the third and fourth columns, you really start getting into some good options and combinations. Right away, there's the obvious one that some of you will look at and think, that's it, that's what I want, and that's tunnel vision and kill clip. You're not wrong for thinking that, it's a fantastic combination, and if you do go that route, it's fine, but maybe just consider flared magwell for the quicker reload if you do. There's also hipfire grip there, which is criminally underrated, it's a great perk, but none of those perks are what I went with. For me, the god roll is Keep Away and Headseeker, and there's a lot of reasons why. Let's start with this new perk Keep Away. It really does a lot to help this weapon. Remember how we said that the Spiral didn't have the best stats? Well, this is how you make up the difference right here. As the perk says, it increases reload, range, and accuracy when there are no enemies close by. You're probably like everyone else and wondering, what the hell, that's pretty vague, why do they do that? Give us vague descriptions, I have no idea. But that is why we have LightGG to help us out. So LightGG says that it grants 10 range, 30 reload, and 10% accuracy cone size buff when there are no enemies within 15 meters. Guys, that's a whole lot of benefits for just doing what you're going to want to do anyway. Range is never a bad thing to have increased, but the other two are exactly what the doctor ordered for this pulse. High impacts have piss poor reload and aim assist, and those numbers really help pad them. What's better is its uptime is crazy, like it will be up for probably 90% of your gunfights, that's just wild. This perk is like the reverse of threat detector and I love it. It's on a lot of these new weapons and I can't wait to try it out on things like the new hand cannon. Anyway, you get the picture, Keep Away is perfect for this gun, but why Headseeker? Well, Headseeker gives the gun increased precision damage after a body shot. This basically means that the 2 burst we talked about before, the one where you had to land all crits to get the optimal TTK of 0.67 seconds, well, with Headseeker you actually only need to get 4 crits and 2 body shots. That's right, this perk makes one of the most lethal timed kills in the game even easier to attain. It really doesn't even feel fair. The consistency of 2 bursts with this weapon honestly feels like cheating. This perk has been great on pulses for a long time, but it has recently become even better. A recent update made it so the Headseeker buff lasts even longer and gives you more aim assist when it's active. It's just insane. I can't believe that they buffed an already super strong perk. Maybe it will be present on more burst weapons or something, but yeah, my bet is they nerf it because, well, it just obliterates people, plain and simple. But wait, there's more. You didn't forget the origin trait, did you? Sometimes origin perks are just sucky, and oh, this one is so not sucky. The trait is called Nanotech Tracer Rockets. It says that landing multiple hits will turn your next shot into a homing rocket. Honestly, these descriptions, again, Bungo, come on. This description is just not good. It makes it sound like you shoot the rocket yourself. No, this rocket just automatically shoots out of your gun and hits a target without you doing anything. And honestly, it's really nice. There were quite a few times that I was outplayed and the rocket got me a kill from the grave. That's a chipper feeling too, to think you just lost and this little rocket goes and avenges you. It's hilarious. Oh yeah, and lastly, I went with the stability masterwork. Like I mentioned, it is super helpful. I was possibly thinking of doing some handling, but no, with weapons like this, you want to cater to their strengths, and this weapon is strongest when it is eviscerating guardians in 2 bursts. Stability is what allows that to happen, so go with that. Alright, so I've given you the lowdown on the perks. Let's talk about how to use this thing, because it isn't as simple as point and shoot. There is some strategy going on. It really is something you have to have in the back of your head while you play. Strategy, I mean. How can I use this weapon in the most effective manner? Well, range is going to be your friend with this one. Try to put some space between you and your opponent. Chances are they're using a hand cannon or SMG or something, and you can simply put them down because their damage fall off is worse than yours. While doing this, you have to pay attention to the radar and not approach corners that enemies are close to. They'll wait for you to get close and slide out and blast you to smithereens with a shotgun or something. It's what a lot of players do right now. Just be patient, wait for them to peek or jump out, then give them what for. Maybe the most important piece of advice is where to aim with this weapon. High impact pulses are weird because they'll sometimes just lose their aim assist on the third bullet of a burst if you're only aiming for the head. The kick from the weapon will knock you off the target. It's strange and it sounds counterintuitive, but you will actually want to aim for the chest. What happens is that first bullet in the burst might be a body shot, but the next two will kick up from the recoil, and they are almost always crits. For those with short memories, Headseeker doesn't care if you land 2 bodies and 4 crits. Those 2 bursts will still fuck up your target. Guaranteed. As soon as I started aiming for the chest, the 2 bursts just wouldn't stop. I'm telling you, trust me, try it, you'll be amazed. So that's all I got for this pulse. I love it. It will be in my loadout for a very long time. Its perks and origin trait give it some bonuses that aren't on other pulses, and that makes it very valuable. Combine that with the enhanced perks and being able to pick and choose what you want, and it's a monster. Well, I'll call it there. Did you like the pulse? Did you craft it the same way? Tell me about it in the comments. Thanks for watching, and take it easy.